Welcome to the 42284 podcast, coming to you from a remote location right outside of downtown Sunfish, Kentucky. This is uptown Sunfish, Kentucky, I guess you would say. We're in the rich neighborhood.
With broke.
We have decided to come out to a fellow's house today to visit him. I've got Brandon and Kyle and myself, but we're at Senate Duvall's house. Sitting at his kitchen table, had a little fried chicken. We had to bring him some fried chicken to con him into doing this with us, but he obliged, about the third drumstick in. We do need to note that we do have a lawyer on site today. We're not sure who they are representing, but we have one on site to make sure everything stays fair and everything's cordial. So, Senate, thanks for having us out.
Oh, you sure are welcome, boys.
You have played a vital role in the upbringing of all three of us at some point in time.
Kyle White has ruined me.
Here we go. Just start right off the bat.
Yeah.
Just jump right in.
He has ruined me.
How so?
Well, I farmed over a few years with him. Well, every time me and his mama get together and make a trade, he'd come along and want to change it.
That's called white tight.
Is that white tie?
That's
That's white tight.
That's what we've come up with.
Maxine, she anything I mentioned, she was agreeable to it. And all in a week or two, she might come back and she said, "We need to change so-and-so about that." I said, "Just change anything you
Just
want
change
to."
it all.
I said, "We got nothing writing anyway." Well, she said, "That's pretty nice then, not having nothing writing."
Yeah.
Well, we sat around. She'd take care of me. She said, that'll get us to feeding my cattle. I was feeding the cattle. Mm-hmm. Well, I rented the old farm for a few years, too. And we was all pretty nice. Maxine, I'd use her tractors around here. Everybody got to wondering how in the world I could use their tractors and things. I'd take him. They'd tell them. They'd think, "Well, Kyle pay for that fuel?" I said, "No." I said, I had to put fuel in that thing. But I didn't tell them I was putting it in there, and I was keeping count of it. And Kyle White was paying me back in fuel or something. Well, we took and fooled around there a few years. I guess we farmed together 4 years.
I'd say it's when I first started over at the station.
Yeah.
And you don't understand, or I didn't understand, what kind of time it takes to take care of 100 cows.
Oh, yeah. I had half that at one time.
And when it's winter time, and you're over there from daylight till daylight, because we'd open at 5 back then, you just don't have a lot of time. So Senate, he'd feed for me and other things, a lot of other things. Yeah. But what would tickle me is if he was on that end, he'd feed my cows out of the hay, and he'd get 2 and bring back over here 2 rows of hay. But if he's over here, he'd get 2 of his and bring over there. What was mine was his, and his was mine. Oh, we was the talk of the town for a little while. Every now and again, I'd be really getting him. Then every now and again, he'd be really getting me.
Oh, they'd talk about how I was stealing off of Maxine and stuff. Yeah. I don't know what if I ever got a bail or not off of them.
Oh, it wouldn't matter. I could have been 10 ahead. I don't know that we ever
You could have been 50 ahead, or I could have even. It didn't make no difference as long as we had hay.
Somebody told me one time, said, I seen him down there putting fuel in that tractor out of y'all's tank. And said, I asked him about it. He said, heck, that thing's got a 50-gallon tank. I ain't putting my fuel in it.
But it's convenient for us.
It helped me out. I'll say that. I don't know how much it helped him out, but
I'm going to tell you,
it sure helped me out.
Maxine, she was good to me. If I needed anything over there, I'd just go and get it. I never asked nobody.
Yeah.
Hell, I'd just go and get it.
Well, I'll tell you why she was so good to him. He saved her life one time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, her and Kayla's life one time. You know, we talked to Bill about Bill saving their life.
I think
they've been in predicaments.
I was
I'm here to
going
tell
to say,
you.
I mean, it sounds like that your family has needed
Needed help.
Yeah.
So I'll let Senate tell that if he would.
Well, I was going to Brownsville one day. I didn't think nothing about it. I went out here to the end of the road and I turned and went that way. Maxine and Caleb was coming out there on the road. They drove up there, and that car just sat down on that bridge.
It'd been snowing and a plow truck had come through and thrown that snow at the other driveway.
And I said, "You girls hung up?" Yeah. I said, "We believe we are." Oh, I said, "Just give me time. Let me run back over the house and get a shovel." Well, I got to come back and got me a shovel and 2 legs. I hit underneath there, and that car went boom. I said, "Now y'all can go where you want to." I said, "I ain't going to follow you until you get snow out nowhere else." Well, Maxine, she's just grinning. Well, Kayla, she thought I saved the world.
Yeah, Kayla said Senate Duvall saved our life. That's about 100 yards from the house or something like that. Of course, she's little then. I don't know, probably 3, 4 year old or something.
She wasn't very big.
Yeah, it scared her to death.
Oh, we took it and got together. Maxine come over here one day. She said, "Sonny," she had Kayla out there in the car. She said, "Sonny," said, "I really need you to do a big favor for me." I said, "What is it, Maxine?" I said, "It's to shoot Kyle White." She said, "No," said, "it ain't to shoot Kyle." Said, "I've got a dog over in the garage."
You might lose your hero status over this one.
Well, she was listening. She said, "Could you take and get that dog out and take and do something with it?" I said, "Yeah, I'll do something with it." She took and left, and I got an old truck and I went over. I got the dog and I took care of it. I seen Maxine a few days. She said, "How much I owe you?" I said, "Just a kind word." Just a kind word. Because hell, I was afraid to kill him. I found out about it.
I think she might.
Has the statute of limitations ran out?
I don't know. He's a pretty good hero right now. This might take you.
You think it takes a notch or two? Well, the other day I had a guy on Facebook. He was selling raffles for a pocket knife for charity. And so I bought a raffle ticket from him. Well, they didn't sell enough of the tickets, and so they called the raffle off. It wasn't for charity. I'm sorry. He was just doing a raffle. Mm-hmm. And so he refunded the few of us that bought our money back. And I messaged him and said, "Hey, I hated that happen." I said, "That was a good knife, and it was a $200 pocket knife." And he said, "I'll make you a sweet deal on that knife." And I said, "Nah." I said, I would never buy a $200 pocket knife. I just saw a chance at raffling. So he said, I'll shoot you a deal. I said, "No, I'm pretty tight." I said, "I'm not Kyle White tight, but I'm pretty tight." He said, "I'm going to tell you, that's saying something there." Now, I ain't going to call him out. I know
he knows who he is.
I know he listens to this, so yeah.
Said it. You was talking about that dog. Tell him about that dog you told me one time that you had that found his way home. You won't believe it.
I had a dog.
Was he a bulldog or?
No, he's a little old mixed up dog.
Okay.
I stole back up there at Sewsbury.
I didn't remember that part.
Yeah. I kept him around here. Sure's kids come up here. And they'd kick him, mistreat him, and he'd bite them. Mama said, "You got to do something with that dog." Well, I said, "I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to haul him off." And I said, "Maybe that'll cure the pain." Well, I took me and old lady was going to Louisville. I paid him the truck. Old lady said, "We ain't taking that dog to Louisville with us, are we?" I said, "No." I said,
Part of the way.
I said, "We're going to E-Town. We're going to put this dog out of town." Well, we drove up there at one of them car lots, and I just eased the door open. And hell, he just jumped out. I just eased around, drove through there, looking at the automobile. the road. We started up the road. Old lady said, they'll lock you up if they find you, catch you doing that. I said, yeah, but I said, I don't know where that dog come from. Well, it went on about 3 weeks. And I sat me and Mama. And the old lady was all sitting out there on the front porch of the old house. Here come that dog hobbling down the road.
He covered some territory, hadn't he?
Home from E-Town.
Yeah.
He come all the way from E-Town. He come up the driveway there, and he come up there and got on the porch. I said, come here, bud. He come over to me. I said, go and get something in those doctor's feet. I said, hell, his feet was in terrible shape. Well, me and the old lady doctored him. We doctored him for 2 or 3 weeks around here. Sure, much all come up here, and they kick that dog, they would. I said, Mama, I said, you tell them if they kick that dog, I am not hauling off no more. I said, he thinks too much of me. Well,
He missed you, didn't he?
Right.
yeah. She told him, said, you kids, I'm going to tell you something. Said, you're welcome to come anytime. But said, if you kick that dog, he's going to bite you.
Yeah.
Just as sure as the world. Well, they went on a while. They didn't kick him for a while. They got to kicking him. Mom said, you kids get back down that road. She said, I ain't going to ask Senate. Said, I've seen y'all kicking him.
Yeah.
That dog that just amazed me, though, that dog found its way home from
I don't see how.
E-Town, Kentucky.
I don't see how it is.
How far would you guess that is?
No, it's
I ain't no telling how many miles he walked.
50 miles?
yeah.
Yeah.
Scott Avery gave me a dog one time over there from his mom and dad's place, and I took it up to Shrewsbury, and I was living up there, and it went home twice.
Is that right?
Yeah, but I mean, and I thought that was a long way.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. Elizabethtown. Hey, you sure he didn't hitchhike?
Just shows you how loyal a dog is. Old Senate took him to E-Town, left him, and he was glad to see him when he got back. The dog was glad to see him.
I'm telling you, he was a good dog.
Yeah. How old are you now?
87.
87. You born and raised right here,
Right
right?
here.
Right here on
I
this
guess
spot.
I was born in 20 feet, yes, right here.
Yeah. When I was a kid, there was another house that stood here, and that
Yeah,
was the house you were
yeah.
born in, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it burnt.
Yeah.
What was that, about 1990?
Something like that.
I remember we drove out here that night. It was burning. Dad come out here to check on it.
I can remember, but I don't remember the exact year.
Yeah.
But I remember when it burnt.
Me and the old lady went to Bowling Green to get to Savannah the last Christmas present. And when we got back, we didn't have a day.
Yeah. I forgot it was right before Christmas.
It was Christmas, day or two before Christmas.
Yeah.
We didn't have nothing.
I heard a guy tell me one time, he said, other than death, fires are
It's the worst thing in the world.
So you lose everything. What you
Hell
just said
yeah.
there.
You ain't got nothing.
And it's not only just the material stuff, your clothes and your table and your recliner, it's pictures.
Well, just
and
all them old pictures
I
and
had
everything.
I had a guy
Boy.
tell me one time, he said, heck, I forgot. He said, I didn't think about losing something until I go looking for it 2 or 3 years later and think, well, that was in that house.
It was in the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to open them cabinet doors and it ain't there.
Yeah.
Mama Dorothy and Papa Kurt's house burned in 76, I believe.
Yeah.
And I don't have nothing of Dad's, like
No,
maybe pictures.
no.
Or I've got his baseball glove. I've got one picture. But other than that, I mean, they lost everything just like you all did.
Yeah, yeah.
I saw an interview with Mel Gibson, which his house burned out there, those California fires.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, you think of it bad, kind of in a negative way. He said, but I've been successful. I've amassed a lot of trinkets and stuff. And he said, you always think about, what am I going to do with this? He said, that just took all that away.
Yeah, yeah.
He said,
yeah,
it
does.
he took the worry away. He said, it's still not a good thing. He said, but it did relieve some stress about what am I going to do with my stuff. So,
But
did you go to school? Where'd you go to school at? St. John's?
St. John's,
Who was in your class?
Bill Duvall, Mary Margaret Bush, all the bunch of us.
Yeah.
Dorothy Frederick over there.
Bill said the worst part about going to school down there is he was kin to all the women but one or two.
Well, it didn't make no difference to me. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, it didn't make too much difference.
Well, tell us how you met your wife.
Oh, I was up there working at Litchfield skating rink. Guy hired me up there. He's from Shepherdsville up there. Oh, Tilford owned it, but he'd rented it out to that guy.
Yeah.
Well, I was up there, and that guy said, "Oh, I can't take it. Be down here on nights that you've been having skating." He said, "I've got you a guy right here. I'll work for you." And I went over and talked to him. Me and him made a trade.
This was in the 50s?
Yeah. And we took and got together. I worked around there. Me and my wife, I met my wife. We fooled around. I fooled around with her 7 or 8 years before I married her.
She was a Grant, correct?
Yeah,
Linda Grant.
Yeah. She took and we got married and fooled around. Come up, had a girl. Come up, got a girl.
Baby girl.
Yeah, baby girl.
Yeah.
That's Jill.
So Jill's the oldest of your 3 kids?
Yeah. Then, hell, I thought I was running. I thought, hell, I would have had a boy the first time. Went on a few years. About 2 years, I think it was, 3. Then I was back over at Brownsville, Doc Farmer. She went over to the doctor. She thought she was about ready to have a baby. Doc Farmer said, looked at him and said, "Don't you go down there and tell him." Said, "Don't you tell him a damn thing." Said, "I want to tell him." He said, "Duvall," he said, "looks like you can't get a boy." Oh, my head dropped down. I said, "What, Doc?" He said, "You've got another little girl." I never thought nothing about it. They put a diaper on her and everything. I was sitting there holding him. He said, "You ain't gonna say nothing?" I said, "Hell, ain't no need me saying nothing." I said, "It's here."
Yeah.
Done.
Doc, he got to laughing. He said, "I'll tell you." He said, "You'll learn a lot of people in this old world." And a couple of weeks, I went back over to pay him. I said, "Doc, how much I owe you?" He said, "The same as you paid me for that girl, 100. Said, "I'm going to let you have that boy for 100.
Yeah, it turned out as a boy, wasn't a girl, was it?
No.
He's playing a prank on you.
Yeah. Well, we fooled around there a while. Went on a smart while. About 4 years, I guess it was, 5. Then we come up with Junior. Doc, he went out of business so far. He quit delivering. Well, I took the old lady up there at Litchfield Hospital. Of course, old Leonard and Delphi was up there at the hospital. I don't know who they was up there to see, but they knowed all about everything.
Yeah.
Delphi said, "Wow, what are y'all up here for?" I said, "We're up here to get a baby some kind. I don't know what kind we're going to get." Well, fooled around there, and we got a boy. Old lady had to stay up there a day or two. I went up there to pay for him, pay for what I owed on him, and it cost $250 for him.
Junior cost as much as
Hell,
Jill both.
Hell, he cost more than that, both of them did. I told him, I said, "Doc," I forgot that doctor's name. I said, hell, I got 2 for less money than that. So he said, that's what it's going to cost you to get him. And I said, fill this check out, I'm going to pay you.
Just have to keep, I guess.
Hell, didn't have no
option,
choice.
did you?
Well, we fooled around, come back home. Mama said we was out working, doing something. Mama was the babysitter. She said, now, I'm going to tell y'all something. Said, you can't have 2 anymore. Said, I don't know if I can take care of them anymore. Well, I said, we ain't going to have no more if we think we get by. On 4th of July, we was getting ready to go down there to picnic.
Now, is that when you and Uncle Gene was running around together when y'all was young?
Uncle Gene was a lot older than I was.
That's what Unc used to tell. He'd get Senate around. He'd say, when me and Senate was young doing this, he said, why, he's 10 years older than I am.
Uncle Gene.
Go ahead. I didn't mean to.
Oh, you are right. Uncle Gene, I took and found something down there in the old tool shed. It's still standing. I took and brought her up there, and I'm going to give her to Maxine. I said, Maxine, I found something I'm going to give you. Oh, she looked at it. She said, oh, man, said, that's a good gift. I said, it's been sat down there in the barns at a little tool shed for so long. I said, look to me like they picked it up and brought it up here. She said, nobody knows then. She put that in a can. Gene said, tell you the truth. He said, you just burnt my reputation. Said, I could have took and give that to her. You really got a lot of brownie points.
You one-upped him, didn't you?
Yeah. But
Back to the 4th of July when you was going down there.
we got ready to go down there. And I took kids, those lady down there. Me and Bill, we got us a bunch of beer and a bunch of whiskey to drink for the 4th of July. We took and stashed her down there at the old 18 place down there. We put her down there in the pond to keep her cold. Well, we got her good and cold. Hell, I'd been sick. I'd drink 2 or 3 and I'd throw up. Bill said, you got to keep that down. Said, we can't be buying that beer and stuff and throwing it away like that.
Wasted it.
Yeah. Were you a part of the hog killing and stuff down to church?
Oh, yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
We had a good picnic going, man. Give away a new car.
At the church picnic?
Yes, sir. Yes,
I've never
sir.
heard that.
I'd never heard that, no.
Yes, sir.
Bill donated?
Huh?
Did Bill?
No. The father'd buy it out of church money. Hey, we had enough people going to church. They paid for a new car. Father Borcher and Father Weiss and all of them, they'd save that money up. They'd buy one that cost a little less than cost because the dealers sell to them.
Yeah.
Everyone they had. But
And then they raffle it off at the church?
yeah, they sold tickets on it.
Well, I'd never heard that.
Wow.
Hey, it was a good thing.
Yeah.
And then they got down there and had that shooting, and that's all over.
What was the deal with the shooting? I've heard that over the years, but I don't know the story.
Were you there?
Yeah, I guess I was there, but I wasn't right there at the place.
Okay.
I was down there, but I don't know what really happened. But a bunch of them they got into it about something. And you seen that pit, that big old pit down there?
Under the hill, yeah.
Yeah.
Why didn't I take you down there and show it to you?
Yeah,
Dad.
yeah.
I didn't know those were down there until about 2 years before Dad died, and he walked me down the woods and showed them to me.
Yeah, they was big, long ones.
Yeah.
I think they killed 7 sheep and 4 or 5 hogs.
Yeah.
And that's where
Put
they
them on
cook
there.
at?
Yeah, they're pit.
That's where they cooked it at.
To wrap them up, burlap, and all that.
Yeah. Otis Hayes was the cooker. Otis had to have a little beer, a little whiskey,
Yeah.
to make things work right for him.
Get the flavor just right.
Yeah. But Otis was a good cook. Well, Welby Higgs, you boys didn't know him.
I've heard of him.
Welby.
He had a short leg, didn't he?
Yeah. Well,
One leg was shorter than the other.
it's
That's what I mean.
it's about that. It's about
And
that
he walked
much.
with a.
So it's a big difference in
Yeah. Well, he'd get out there and dance on that dance floor. They had a dance floor.
Yeah, they
down
had
there.
built like a stage dance floor down by the pits, right?
And the musicians, they'd come, Jane Melvin, French, and all of them. Anybody could play a guitar or anything, make music. Hell, they played for nothing down there. We had a big ball. Well, it went on 2 days, really, just to tell you the truth.
There was the preparation getting up to the cookout, and then the cookout.
Yeah, in the cookout.
Yeah,
Then there's winding up.
yeah. The cleanup.
Yeah, cleanup deal. But Otis, then when they got done, the second day, they eat. Everybody eat. Then if they had a bunch of stuff left over, they'd sell it. They'd sell Brandon so much, you so much, you so much, me so much. Ain't just anything you wanted to buy to eat there, you could buy. Take it home and eat it anytime you want to. Well, we all got along good at that. Gus and Eldridge Parsley over here, they'd always come to the 4th of July picnic.
Was that typical? Would more people other than just church people come?
Hell,
Whole community and
there's people from Fort Campbell,
Yeah, it was
everywhere.
big deal.
Big deal.
Yeah, somebody told me one time it was the only time their parents allowed them to come to Sunfish.
really.
I think so.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
But boys, it was a big time down there.
So a couple of them get into an argument over there.
Oh, they got into an argument and had a shooting over there.
Did it kill them or just?
No, they didn't kill them. But they rented picnics.
Yeah.
Was no more picnics after that.
Yeah, that's a story I'd always heard. The shooting, and this was in the 70s, right?
Yeah.
They put an end to it.
But boys, I tell you, old man Gus and his daddy and mama and Elaine, they'd all come. No harm to them. Because everybody done it. They'd stay, they'd buy their ticket, they'd eat. Then they'd buy another ticket and they'd fix them a plate to take home with them.
Yeah.
And everybody done it.
Right.
But now they were sure enough every 4th of July, you could set a clock by them. They'd be there.
Elaine was the
County attorney. I mean,
circuit court clerk,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
No, she worked in the probation. She was who set the bond. She's bondswoman, wasn't she?
Yeah.
I thought she's
No,
circuit
Ann Stewart was
Ann
the
Stewart, okay.
circuit clerk forever.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Elaine worked over there.
Elaine, she had a big office in there, too.
Yeah. Oh, if you need to get out of jail, Elaine was very important in your life.
I went over many times to talk to Miss Elaine.
Do you remember getting me out of the speeding ticket?
Huh?
Do you remember getting me out of the speeding ticket that time?
Hell, I've got so many people like son I don't know.
Hey, I'd been over Scott Avery's house one night, and I popped over that hill by Maggie Simon, and I was getting it. It was about 2 a.m. And I come down that swag there, and as I crossed that bridge, a car come around that curve there by Kyle's house.
Yeah.
Blue lights. I was probably running 100. And he shot a donut there either on the bridge or before the bridge and pulled me over there where the old JT Duvall Mercantile Company was. And that trooper gets out, and he is reaming.
Oh, he was a trooper.
Yeah, and he was serious.
Mm-hmm. He meant it.
Yeah, and I hear a rumble, and I turn and look, and I see a truck pull up. You had old flatbed Chevrolet, I think it was orange. He got out and says, "Durbin's that you?" Yeah, I sent it. Yeah, go on. He said, "You come see me tomorrow, we'll get this ticket taken care of." That trooper standing right there. All right. So the next day I went and saw him. That trooper told me at night, I don't know who he thinks he is. You'll not get this one taken. But it went away.
A girl down there for him credit. I'd always, if I didn't have enough money to make my payments, I'd have to go in there and talk to her. explained to her I didn't have no money to make that payment. She called me one night about 9 o'clock. She said, Senate Duvall. I said, yes, ma'am. I said, what do you need? She said, I need somebody to help me. Well, I said, well, I'm the guy who'll help you if he can. I said, you've helped me so much, I don't know what I could. I said, I guess I might not have to shoot somebody to help you. She told me, she said, I was coming down through that long stretch up there with a big house place. She said, I was running 85 miles an hour. Said, a state trooper fell right in behind me. Said, he gave me a ticket 2 pages long. She said, Senate, said, do you think you could do anything with that? I said, how much money is there involved in it? Oh, she said, this is just combination deals. She said, I don't know they get nothing off you to jam them figures around on the farm credit. I said, yeah. I said, I could do something. I went to Brownsville. I said, I've got this ticket. I said, where we're going? I said, we're going to Bowling Green. I said, I'm going to buy you a cup of coffee and a hot dog. A hamburger, either one. We went down there, drove up our farm credit, went in, went back there, took it, piece of paper, she tore it up. She said, there's your ticket. Said, you can square up with Senate any way you want to. Said, we don't care what you're paying or not. But hey, that's what friends for.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what made the world go around. You can't really do that anymore.
No, you can't do that. I couldn't go over and get a ticket took care of today if I had $1,000 in my pocket to give them.
Yeah. Yeah, it just...
Too much divvy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Were you and Linda married down here at St. John's?
No, Peony.
Peonia, okay. St. Anthony there on the corner?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I knew her family was from up in there.
I was going to say, that's where she lived. That's where she was raised.
Up there in that curve, right there, real steep curve, that brick house back out there.
Yeah. I can't think of her name. John A. had a sister, or had a brother, maybe Carl, that was married to some of that bunch up there.
Yeah.
Audrey was her name.
Yeah, right next door.
Okay, I knew they were right in there somewhere. But that she was the last one of John A.'s bunch to live. To pass away. So, I guess, did you ever work public work, or did you always just
very
farm?
little?
Farms?
I worked construction work winter time so I could get me enough money to farm.
Well, now, there was a gentleman that was a pretty large landowner, farm owner, that Senate worked for several years. He's told me some good stories on. Won't you tell him the story about the man that was going to sell him all that fertilized?
Oh,
this fella, he was a big operator.
Global Madeline.
Well, yeah, that's it.
Global Madeline.
But he's a big operator, and like the little guy, Senate always told me, if me or you or Bub or him needed anything, he'd make sure it happened. You know. But if you were maybe a fertilizer corporation or a tractor dealership, or he may not always get you money.
Yeah.
You didn't get your money. Well.
But he'd take care of the little guy,
Yeah.
you know. How long did you work for him? You worked for him for a few years, didn't you?
Agriculture Robin Hood.
That's right, pretty much.
I worked for him 6-7 years.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, off and on.
Yeah.
Hey, I just worked for him when I didn't have nothing to do at home.
Yeah.
And he'd take care of me.
I know, yeah.
We took and went down there at Bowling Green at U.S. Steel, it was. Them boys, we stopped in there, me and Goble did. And he said, boys, he said, would y'all want to sell me a bunch of fertilizer? Yeah. I eased off back around. I said, now, boys, I said, don't get in too deep. I said, $4,000 or $5,000 won't hurt you too bad. But I said, he'll hit you for 100,000 or more when he gets ready to hit you. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's warning them.
He had me hauling on that old snub-nosed Ford truck.
You was just hauling down there by the loads.
I'd haul 16, 17 ton at a time,
Yeah.
20 ton on that old.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'd load her to just every bit she'd carry on her. We'd bring her back up here, and they'd scatter her. And I'd go back in another old truck and get another truckload while they scattered that. Well, we took Terry and Philip, that was their name. They took him, run out there. I was filling that old truck up. It's about half full. Terry said, "Hey!" He said, "Shut that thing off." I said, "What's wrong, Terry?" He said, "That check that man gave me yesterday is just as cold as a cucumber." I said, "What?" I said, "Did anybody ever tell you about he would give you a cold one like that?" "Yeah," he said, oh yeah. He said, "Shut her off." Well, we shut her off.
Made you leave the truck down there, didn't they?
Oh, me and Terry was good friends. Hell, I bought all my fertilizer down there.
Uh-huh.
You know. He said, "I'm going to keep that old truck down here." I said, "Where you going to put it?" He said, "I'm going to park it outside the gate there." He said, "I don't want him to tear the gate up. Come get his old truck." And it was half full of fertilizer. Well, that evening, late, about 9 o'clock, we was in here eating supper, me and the old lady and kids and all of us. Man blew the horn. I went out there at the door. I said, "Come in." I said, "Well, I'm eating dinner, supper." Well, he come in. Hell, he just got him a plate, too, and he started eating, too. I said, "What do you want?" And go. He said, "Where's my truck at?" I said, "Where you get that check at?" There was no count. He said, "We got to do something about that." Said, "Slide shoes on, breeches." Said, "We go down there." We drove up. There's a truck outside that gate. He said, "Huh." He said, "That's no problem. I got another key fit the truck." He said, "You want to drive a truck or you want to drive his car?" I said, "I'm going to drive his car."
I'll drive the car.
Yeah.
Well, we drove her. We come back. We scattered that load of fertilizer that night.
Hard to pick it up off the ground.
Oh, they can't get it off the ground. Philip called me the next morning real early. He said, "My truck's gone, Senny." I said, "If you come to Sunfish," I said, "It's a Sunfish." I said, I drove the car. I said, "And he drove the truck." I said, "Hell, I'll tell you just like it is." He said, "Maybe we'll get something out of him one of these days."
Probably never saw any of it, did they?
Never did collect a penny of it.
Yeah.
What about, wasn't there a lending establishment that he had told you if they ever come up, you give them the farm truck, and
Yeah,
if they want to go count the cows or the hogs or...
yeah. Farm credit. Danny Logston. Rodney Perkins. He gave me a brand new 54 Chevrolet. 4-wheel drive. Nice. Leather seats, everything. Well, we was out there. Goble said, he said, "I'm going to be gone a few days." He said, "You take care of everything." He said, "If anybody comes and wants to count anything," he said, "give them your truck, or you set up here at the feed mill till they come back and bring your truck to you."
I think they had used that livestock as collateral. Is that what
Oh,
it was?
yeah,
And
yeah.
so they were...
Yeah.
Want to make sure
that they had... Yeah, right.
Yeah. We'll make sure they had them.
Right.
Well, they went and they come back. Danny, he was running around there, he twisting around. I said, "What's wrong, Augustin?" He said, "There ain't a cow down there and there ain't a hog up there in the hog house." I said, "What?" I said, it was 2 days ago. I said, I put some in up there. Well, he said, there ain't none. I said, well, haul me up there and let me look. Hell, I know there wasn't none there before the wind. Because I have low and they went to bourbon stock pen. Well, we went up there and looked. Then he said, would you have thought a man would have took them 50 pound pigs and shipped them off somewhere else? I said, I don't know. I said, I have no idea. Well, he said he shipped everything. He said, it ain't a cow out there in the field. There ain't a hog in the place. He said, I'm telling you. I said, we're going to get him. Oh, I said, pour it on him. Because I know he done had the money in his pocket.
Yeah.
Well, they got in there and got calling on a Burton feed mill. They called Bourbon Stock Pen, check and see how. And they told him that they done give Goble the checks, and he done cashed them. So hell, that was the end of their road. Goble, he come
About as
back.
hard to get us that fertilizer, wasn't it?
Goble, they come back down. Goble come at night down here to see me. Goble, he was good to me as my daddy was, or better.
Paid you every penny he ever owed you, didn't he? You told me.
Huh?
You told me one time he paid you every penny he ever owed you and more.
He paid me, he said, do you know how much I owe you? I'd say, hell no. I said, well, you going to pay me? Sometimes he'd pay me twice what I worked and made.
Yeah. How much ground did he farm?
About 3,500 acres.
And that was in the 70s?
Yeah.
That's a bunch of ground.
Well, let me tell you this one.
He had married some money, hadn't he? So
Oh, he married Ruby.
she big
she-
road construction.
Yeah, he was a bridge builder.
Okay.
Her old man, ex-old man was. Well, we was all down there on Big Reedy, down through there. We was tending them bottoms, Goble was. Then they come dashing down there in a truck. He said, you need something to speed you up, Goble. He said, what do I need? He said, you need about 2 or 3 new tractors down here. Oh, he said, you're wasting time. I said, why don't you get them down here?
Bring 'em on.
Well, here he come. He brought 4 new ones down there. He gave me one. He said, you take this and you take this for your own personal use. Said, don't you let nobody have this. Said, if Gene wants something done with this tractor, said, you do it for her. Well, I said, all right. Well, we was down there farming one night about 10 o'clock. Then they come down there. We was down there. He said, boys, said, y'all ain't paid nothing on them tractors. Said, we come to collect some money on them. Goble said, you can't collect no money here. Said, we ain't got none. And hell, he hadn't never signed no mortgage on them tractors or nothing. Hell, we'd used them 2 years. Goble, we got back up there. He said, I'm hungry as a hog. He said, could you go somewhere and get us something to eat? I said, well, ain't but one place I know we can get something. And I said, you don't like to eat there. Hell, that man's place. Well, he said, here's a $100 bill, go and get something. He said, went down there to old men, or they killed
Oh yeah.
on Lake
Herman
Road.
Hayes' place.
Yeah. He cut that bologna in chunks. Hell, he didn't slice her, he just chunked her. Oh. Well, he got us a bunch of cheese, a bunch of bologna, a bunch of light bread, a bunch of crackers, a bunch of Cokes. I spent $150 down there at 9. I spent $50 of my money. I went back up there. I said, I didn't have enough money, Goble. I said, I had to take $50 out of my pocket. He said, it won't hurt you to lose that $50. I said, I got to pay my school kids' clothes. Before we left there, he gave her back to me. He said, what do you think? I said, I think you'll be all right. He said, do you think you can get them tractors? I said, no. I said, hell, you ain't got nothing to show for them. He didn't have no mortgage on them, nothing. Well, Marlowe Carroll was Marlowe was the boss over us all. And Marlowe was good to me. Hell, he done anything I wanted done. And I'd do anything Marlowe wanted done. They took us out. Me and Marlowe was back there on the hillside fencing one day, and he fired everybody up there at the feed mill. Well, Goble, he didn't have nobody up there but him. Here he come. He got me and Marlowe. He said, "You guys know anything about running a feed mill?" I said, "I don't even know how to turn the switches on."
Which feed mill did he have?
Sunfish up here.
Okay. Well, yeah, the one y'all ended up with.
Mm-hmm. Well, we took and fooled around there.
Sweet Valley, I think is what it's called.
Done what?
Was it called Sweet Valley or something back then, or something like that? Wasn't it?
Yeah. But boys, I tell you, if he liked you, nothing he wouldn't do. Uncle Ovie and Leonard down here, they had a bunch of fescue they wanted combined on the shears. They'd come up here every day, say, "Can't you get him? Come up here." I said, "No." I said, "It's better if y'all go and talk to him." Well, they went and they finally built up courage, and they gave him half. Leonard and Uncle Ovie, he took them up there. He had a big building up there. And it was nice to put them seeds in. Hell, you'd go in there and flip a switch, and it'd stir them seed. Well, seed will go down when they're drying.
Yeah.
Well, they went up there. They first went up there at the time. They went up there when they first put in there. Leonard, he come up here. He said, "I believe the stole a lot of them seed." I said, "If he stole the seed off y'all, I don't know of it." Uncle Ovie come over. He said, "I believe he sure got them seeds, some of them." I said, "Not as I know of." I said, "And I'm down there every day around there."
And that'd have been out of character for him, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
He wouldn't have done that
He wouldn't steal.
to individuals.
How far he wouldn't steal. If you had $500 laying out there, he wouldn't steal it.
Right.
That was too small of an amount. Well, Ovie and Leonard didn't get seed. They got bad mouth, and he just bagged them all, shipped them all, had them cleaned and sold them.
Yeah.
He said, to me, he said, "Do you need any seed, Duvall?" I said, "Yeah, I'd like to have about 500 pounds. He said, "Go up there and get them." He said, "Hell, far." I said, "I just soon give them to you to sell them." Well, he get them to me. And I saw that field down there in front of Leonard's house. Uncle Ovie's house it was. They said, "Them's good seed." I said, "You right." I said, "Them's your seed." Hey, I didn't have nothing to be ashamed of.
Did Goble build that mill?
No, Norman built that mill.
Norman Duvall.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
John A., my grandfather, had it
Yeah,
for a while.
yeah. I was working for him. We all, old lady's wanting to go home, like a woman is on a Sunday. She wants to go home. Well, Goble come over here early Sunday morning. He said, "Duvall, what are you going to do today?" I said, "Well, I was going to take my old lady and go to church. Then I'm going to go up to my daddy-in-law's." He said, "Is your daddy-in-law more important than $500 is?" I said, "No, sir." He said, "Here's your 500. He said, "Let's go." I went to the old lady. I said, "You can go be yourself." I said, "I made $500. Not going with you."
That's a bunch of money then. wasn't it?
Hell yes. That's a month's work.
Yeah.
Well, we took and got in the truck. He had a big old tornado Oldsmobile. said, put the seatbelt on. I put that seatbelt on. He said, we're going to Louisville. Well, we went to Louisville. Got up there. I said, what the fun up there in Louisville? He said, I come to steal Dozer. I said, sure enough. I said, do you own it? Yes, I own it. But said, I got to steal it. I said, well, it's your business. He got in that tractor and trailer truck, and he backed her out there in Ohio, wherever. He got on that Dozer, and he drove her up on there. He said, do you want to drive that truck or that car? I said, I'm going to drive in the car. Well, we hit the toll road and come down through there. We got down there at the first place you could stop and eat something. We stopped there. He said, let's go in and eat. Said, this Sunday, said, they ain't out looking for that Dozer yet. Well, we took him. Come on down here. Drove up there to the hog house. He said, would you be polite enough to drive that Dozer off that truck so I won't have to climb up there on it? I said, yeah. I said, I guess I can get it off of there. I got it off. He said, drive it around there behind them hog houses so it won't shine so much. I did. Well, went on 4 or 5 years. He said, Senate, he said, I owe a man a bunch of money. And he said he'd take that Dozer for the debt. He'd bought a bunch of Holstein heifers off of him. About 100 and something. Put them over on the just white place. Well, I helped him move them cattle around. One Sunday, about dinner time, here he come in that truck he gave me. He was a flying. I thought, well, what is he after me for? He said, what are you doing? I said, nothing. He said, get in here. I said, let's go. We started back up there and went back up to up there where Dorothy and them goes back up through there, to that old place there. Then we had 2 big black bulls. Boy, they was nice. He hit them and run over them. And we was up there in that truck and he was rocking like that. He said, you better not mash my hat. I said, that's the only thing I've got in county anymore. We finally got up her and got back down there. He said, them bulls won't be back now. Said, they'll have enough hide knocked off of them. Old Denby will keep them away from here.
Now, on the Dozer deal, didn't you tell me that the reason he pulled down there at the water, that it looked like that Dozer had just run right down the water?
Yeah.
Just kept going. Went on down to Ohio. Is why they parked that trailer down there, and so
make it look like he.
Yeah, they were looking for people that had stolen
down the river.
Yeah, going down the Ohio River.
He thought about that, hadn't he?
Hey, a little planning went into that.
I went to Louisville. He comes and said, "You'll make $5,000." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Get your old truck, sir." He said, "Meet me up there." We took off and went up there. He said, "I'll tell you what." He said, "I'll give you $10,000 if this truck turns over and everything burns up in it." So don't want nothing to survive. I said, "What?"
What?
Hell, I didn't realize them papers was so much important to me. He said, "Can you do that?" I said, "No." I said, "I'm going to take and drive the truck down there, and we're going to turn this over." And I said, "You set her on fire." Well, we did. He said, that ain't worth but $100 to you. He said, you wouldn't do the whole job. I lost a couple $1,000 to $100.
You know, when I was a kid, I remember you drove a tractor. It seemed like all over the place to me.
Did?
I don't know if it's just because I was always at the store and that's what you showed up on, but you had old Case tractor.
Well, that one little case would run 35
I was
miles an
going
hour.
to say, we get behind you, and he'd go faster than John A. would in a truck.
Yeah.
We pull out behind him, he'd just
That
roll
little
and
tractor
leave
would
us.
fly, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And, well, David Brown's what
Yeah.
it was.
Is it what they were?
Yeah. They had a case name, but there's David
Okay.
Brown's.
Yeah, it's kind of the time they
Yeah.
merged.
Yeah.
Do you, who built that Sunfish Small? Do you know? I mean, Lonzo Durbin and them had it, but did they build it?
No. Lonzo, some other old guy built it. Dick, they bought it
Yeah.
a long time ago.
It was out facing the
Yeah, it's
187.
turned back is what it is now.
Yeah.
Was.
But you don't remember the guy's name who built it?
He's a Willis, he was.
A Willis.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've ever heard that. Probably look back on the deeds.
Yeah, I
See
could do
that?
that. I could run that sometime.
I always just wondered who. I knew Lonzo and his, was it June?
Yeah. June
Hey.
Alchins.
Yeah.
She's the sister to
Sim.
Sim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the Litchfield Mafia, wasn't he?
Yeah. Hey, he's about like Goble Mattingly.
Yeah.
This woman over here on Creek Hill, she got to having some problems about something that where they come from. They trying to attach something of theirs. She said, "Do you know anybody in Grayson County?" I said, "Yeah, I know 2 or 3 up there." I said, "I know what's them lawyers' name up there?
The golf boys.
Golf boys." Well, she said, "That might work." I said, "Let's go with her." Well, we went and seen the golf boys. Then I went and seen Sim. He said, "Lady," he was down there where he built that garage down there, that Newport garage.
He had a little building back there. In
Yeah,
the back
yeah,
that he
office,
got in.
office,
I remember going there
office.
as a kid with Dad.
The office, that was his office.
Yeah.
That's his money place.
Yeah.
She come back out of there just smiling. She said, "Got her all took care of." Never heard another word out of it.
Yeah. Dad, when he was dying down there in the hospital,
Yeah.
I think it wasn't this last time, but the time before last that Mitch McConnell run for
Senator.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna blank. He's laying there. And ad popped up for Mitch McConnell, and Dad said, "I just can't stand him." I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "I ain't liked him since he come down here and run around Litchfield and got some girl pregnant." And I said, "Really?" You know, because he said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, how did he end up in Litchfield?" He said, "Sim Houchins brought him down here." He said, they kept him in Litchfield. It was the first time he ran for senator.
Yeah. I had holes in his shoes.
That's Dad said he didn't have nothing. He come
Yeah,
down
I seen him over at Brownsville at the fire, holes in the bottom of his shoes.
Yeah, that's what Dad said. Dad said Sim Houchins got him down here in Grayson County and kept him down there for a week drunk.
And broke him.
Yeah,
Got him a lot of money off of him.
yeah. And said he brought him down to Sunfish and, paraded
All
him
around.
around.
Taking his Brownsville.
Yeah.
Hey, them boys is pretty smart up there in Grayson County.
They said old Sim was something. I remember him as a kid.
Thanks for listening, everybody.